So we participated in the Godot Wild Game Jam number 36. Ideally, in a game jam, you get the core mechanics built ASAP, and then you polish the heck out of the game. But despite our better judgment, we decided to make a voxel-based game. We barely had time to get the core mechanics working, much less playtest and polish the game. Though with some help, we got some last-second playtesting in. And that's basically the problem with the game. We didn't have time to polish the game. But we did make a playable voxel game in a game jam. It does look pretty, and it has multiplayer. Features that are absolutely necessary for a game jam. So it was a partial success. I also worked with two of my bros, Kyle and Jacob. Kyle did a lot of programming. Jacob was the project manager and also did programming. I was the artist and a programmer. And so the rest of this video is the three of us talking about the game jam.
The theme was uncontrollable growth. Ba-ba-ba.
We had a lot of major bugs. My favorite of which is if you die and then restart, everything breaks. In a game where the other major bugs makes you want to restart a lot, including the major bug of spontaneously dying for no reason.
Yeah, it's pretty darn unfair.
And in the jam comments, we have a lot of no one knew what was going on. And we just didn't have time to make a tutorial, and it's just unfortunate.
One of the critiques we got a lot was that it looked good, but that they didn't know what they were doing. Like they didn't have the players didn't have a clear objective.
The bombs have three mechanics. One blows up sludge, the other one turns sludge into stone sludge, and the last one blows up sludge and stone sludge. We really didn't communicate the distinction between those very well. Yeah, in the level, we have the default camera angle that is decent for the first part of the level, but none of our playtesters noticed the camera movement until we mentioned it. And at the later portion of the level, the path forward, you can't really notice without rotating the camera. Oh, and it also doesn't help that right at that point where you have to rotate the camera is another path that looks like the main path.
Yeah, that's a pretty big failure, I think. That's what we get for last-minute midnight level design.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to talk about Austin's playtesting?
Our other siblings, they encountered a few bugs, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But Austin encountered every single bug in the entire game we had, basically. And it was just, so sad.
I think he had to reset 15 times near the end of the level or something like that. He fell off the level all at the end of the game. The only point you can fall off the level.
Just major props to the assistant executive playtester.
Yeah. Yep. Things you liked.
My multiplayer is just amazing. That's all. I just really like my multiplayer system.
I didn't think we'd get voxels done and a working game. I mean, working is in air quotes, but we made a voxel game in a game jam, and that's something I wanted to do, and we've done it now. So
yeah. I liked the general sludge and bomb mechanics where you have the sludge spreading, which should have spread slightly faster, I think.
But also we were borderline on too laggy.
Yeah, the HTML5 one is barely playable. It's right on the edge there. And if too many slime spawn, it goes over the line. I liked my slime AI, but I don't think the level has enough slimes to make it work well, because it's really coded for groups of 10 plus slimes.
Well, I really liked the player character. I thought that was a neat surprise that it's so simple, but it looks decent. I really liked the looks of the game. I thought that was a success. I really like picking up things and throwing items. I think that feels really good.
Yeah. Another of the things I liked was the fact that if a slime spawns, you kind of just panic and realize you have to grab a bomb somewhere. So it's oh no, there's an enemy in this, and you rush to the nearest bomb and attempt to throw it at the slime. Seeing the playtester's reaction to that was entertaining every time.
Other games you liked?
Some of the games I like was one of them was called Overjammed, and the other is Feature Creep. Feature Creep. Another one I really liked was Overjammed, where you're trying to create a jam game for a jam, and it's sort of meta.
One of the games I really liked was called Dice Dungeon. you have a set of dice that you have, and you get to pick which dice you use for your movement, and which dice you use for your healing, and which dice you use for your attacks and stuff. And it's very polished, and I think it's just a pretty solid game.
It wouldn't be out of place on Steam.
No, it wouldn't.
With the game design we went with and the ambition we had, we were never going to have enough time to polish. And I think that was just a thing for this. This was like an ambitious game with no polish for the game jam.
And we're all dead. You're welcome.